What is the most real thing you possess? It's not your phone, not your house. It's your memories. The memory of your first kiss, the smell of your childhood home, the sound of a loved one's laughter. These experiences are the building blocks of your identity. They prove you have lived. They prove you are real. But what if I told you there is a terrifying scientific paradox which suggests that it is statistically almost certain that every single one of your memories is fake? That your childhood never happened. Your family doesn't exist. And you just popped into existence a fraction of a second ago, fully formed, with a complete set of memories about a life you never lived. This isn't a plot from a sci-fi movie. This is the unnerving conclusion of the Boltzmann Brain paradox. To understand this nightmare, we must first understand the most fundamental law of our universe, the second law of thermodynamics. It states that everything tends towards disorder. Order is unlikely. Chaos is the default state. A structured sandcastle will always decay into a random pile of sand. A hot cup of coffee will always cool down, its heat dissipating into the room. This arrow of time, from order to chaos, is called an increase in entropy. Our universe began in a state of incredibly low entropy, a highly ordered, hot, dense point called the Big Bang. For the last 13.8 billion years, it has been expanding, cooling, and becoming more and more disordered. Now, let's fast forward to the very distant future. Trillions upon trillions of years from now, all the stars will have burned out. All the black holes will have evaporated. The universe will have reached a state of maximum entropy, a near-perfect equilibrium. It will be a vast, dark, cold void filled with a thin, random soup of elementary particles. This is known as the heat death of the universe. But random is the key word here. In an almost infinite expanse of time and space, randomness can do some very strange things. Imagine 1,000,000 monkeys typing on 1,000,000 typewriters for 1,000,000 years. The vast majority of what they type will be gibberish. But given enough time, one of them will, by pure chance, type out a perfect Shakespearean sonnet. It's incredibly unlikely, but it's not impossible. Now, replace the monkeys with the random particles in the heat-death universe, and replace the typewriters with the laws of quantum physics. In this endless void, particles will constantly be fluctuating, bumping into each other, and randomly arranging themselves. Most of these arrangements will be meaningless. But wait long enough, and by pure chance, these particles could assemble into something ordered, like a teacup, or, even more terrifyingly, a functioning human brain. This is a Boltzmann brain, a fully formed, conscious brain that has spontaneously, randomly assembled itself out of the chaos of the void. This brain, for the brief moment it exists before dissolving back into chaos, would be a fully conscious observer. It would have thoughts, feelings, and a sense of self. And here is the horrifying core of the paradox. Look at our universe. It is vast, complex, and incredibly ordered. For a universe like ours to exist, it required an extremely unlikely, low entropy starting point. Now compare the statistical probability of our times, entire universe times, randomly forming, versus the probability of just times one single brain times randomly forming. The math is brutal. It is incomprehensibly, astronomically more likely for a single, simple, conscious observer, a Boltzmann brain, to pop into existence than for a vast, complex universe full of trillions of observers to do so. If this is true, it means that the overwhelming majority of conscious observers that will ever exist in the universe are not beings like us, who evolved over billions of years on a planet. The vast majority are freak, momentary Boltzmann brains floating in the void. And if that's the case, what are the odds that you are one of the real ones? Statistically, you are almost certainly a Boltzmann brain. The life you remember is a set of false memories that were randomly encoded into your neural structure the moment you popped into existence. The feeling of the chair you're sitting on, the sound of my voice, the screen you're looking at. It's all part of a complex, coherent hallucination generated by your freak, temporary brain. In a moment, you will dissolve back into the random chaos from which you came. The paradox gets worse. If you are a Boltzmann brain, you cannot trust any of your perceptions. You cannot even trust the laws of physics, including the second law of thermodynamics that led you to this conclusion in the first place. All of that knowledge could simply be part of your randomly generated false memories. It is a perfect, inescapable, philosophical trap, a nightmare you can't wake up from because there is nothing to wake up to. You are a self-contained, momentary illusion. So, are we doomed to this existential horror? Not quite. Most physicists see the Boltzmann brain paradox not as a description of reality, but as a powerful sanity check for their cosmological models. It's a times reductio ad absurdum times a reduction to absurdity. What it means is this: if your theory about the universe predicts that Boltzmann brains should be more common than normal observers like us, then your theory is almost certainly wrong. It's a cosmic red flag. It forces scientists to reconsider their assumptions about the Big Bang, dark energy, the multiverse, and the ultimate fate of the universe. The Boltzmann brain paradox, in the end, doesn't prove that you are a fake. It does something far more important. It reminds us that our orderly, predictable, 13.8 billion-year-old universe is an incredibly special and statistically precious place. The fact that we can trust our memories, that the past is real, and that we are part of a grand, unfolding story is not a given. It's a profound gift. The paradox forces us to appreciate the sheer, breathtaking improbability of our own existence. You are not a random fluctuation in the void. You are a product of billions of years of cosmic and biological evolution. And that is far more wonderful than any random thought could ever be.